Hello and welcome to One North Main, Brockton's magazine show where we profile people, places, and events that make this city, our city, great. I'm Jay Miller, your host, and we are walking up and down Court Street. This episode is going to fly by so fast, but that by the time I hit Court and Montello and head back up to the intersection of intersections where Main, North Main, Court Street, and Pleasant Streets converge, the half hour will be over. It's incredible. Our focus today is the Brockton Public Schools. Man, we cover so many events related to our public school system, and the kids do a fantastic job. Today, we're going a little outside the box. We have a group of students, school administrators, and city officials that have converged on the State House to advocate for more funding for our wonderful public school system. We also have the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, also known as DESE. They visited Brockton High School Fine Arts Department, and the Fine Arts Department is simply a treasure. Also, there's a nice program that runs over at the public school system, not only at the high school, but the middle schools. It's called Empower Yourself. It's led by Cedric Turner. And Empower Yourself was at Bridgewater State University competing in the Young Investors Program. They ended up going to New York. That's a pretty big deal. And you know what? Our students in our fair city are a big deal. So we have all that fun. 1/2 hour of magic. I want you to sit back. I want you to relax. And I want you to see what this community, our city of champions, has to offer. Brockton Public Schools are a jewel, maybe the jewel, in our city of champions. Over the last several years, funding has been cut, and it has impacted programs and employment for many teachers. A few years ago, a movement was created, Brockton Kids Count, and that movement has not stopped. It has led all the way to the State House. We recently covered a group including city councilors, school committee members, Brockton Public Schools administrators, and most importantly, students march to the State House and let their voices be heard. The purpose of the visit? A Senate vote on Chapter 70 funding. It was quite an event, and the people that participated made their voices be heard.
I just want to say how glad we are that everyone is here today, because what happens in this building is so important to us in Brockton at the local level. We have people in this building from our community. Senator Brady, Representative Claire Cronin, Representative Jerry Cassidy, and Representative Michelle Dubois, who come up here and fight for us. And what it means for us to be here for them is that we're willing to come here and help them fight for the Brockton Public Schools in our community. And that's so important because they can't always do it without our help. They need to know, they need motivation. They need to know that there's people back home that are behind them, that support them, and that appreciate what they do up here every single day.
Thank you.
From Senator Brady's office. Right now the senator is in a caucus but he would like me to thank you on his behalf for coming in and fighting for funding for Brockton School. All right? You're going to have to follow me around. You're going to have to be patient. Now, we may go into the chamber when they start in session to discuss the bill that you came in for.
As we said, it's been a lot of years talking about this foundation recommendations to fix the foundation formula. So I want you to listen and hear what the conversation is.
Right, there you go, LD from Senator Brady's office, as well as Superintendent Kathy Smith, briefing the students on what to expect. There's a good chance that they will be allowed into the Senate chambers to hear discussion, debate, any amendments to the bill, and then a final vote. So they're getting an education today. The students are from Brockton High School. They're also seeing this beautiful building, the State House. For some of these students, it's the first time in these halls. So this is an exciting day for Brockton. And as we inch closer to the vote, the kids are here. The elected officials from the city are here, and they're making their voice heard. Okay, we're walking down Court Street, approaching Montello Street, and over my left shoulder we have the old and the new. We have the old furniture building, and then we have the new Enterprise block. The building is beautiful, and it's bringing some life back into our downtown area. We also have the Petronelli Gym, which I don't know if some of you know, used to be an establishment many moons ago, back in the early part of the 20th century. We're going to stop at the State House. We're going to come back to them in a bit. But now what we are doing is we're going over to Brockton High School. What happened at Brockton High School? The Department of Elementary and Secondary Education visited the Fine Arts Department. Vinnie Macrina, Matt Cunningham, and all the art teachers, Sarah Richards, the K through 12 coordinator for arts, and so many teachers have done a fantastic job. They have plays, they have artwork, and of course, Mr. Macrina with his band and Mr. Cunningham, the music speaks for itself. So the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education showed up. They wanted to see what was happening in this Fine Arts Department, and as usual, it was a lot of fun. Let's check it out.
Hi, my name is Cliff Chuang, Senior Associate Commissioner at the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, and we're here today at the Brockton Public Schools Celebration for the Arts. I'm here in front of much of the artwork that some of the students have done. I particularly like this painting. Unfortunately, I don't know which student artist it is, but this is an example of the beautiful work we're here to celebrate. In a few minutes, we're also going to go in to hear the jazz band and choir perform. We're really excited to celebrate the arts with the Brockton Public Schools. I myself grew up as a musician and learned music in my own public schools, and we're really excited to join Brockton Public School students in celebrating their hard work. We know that music and arts education are really important as part of a full and well-rounded and comprehensive education here in Massachusetts. And though we don't necessarily test these subjects, and we do very well academically, we know that our schools lead the country, due in no small part to the additional types of experiences students get through arts and music education in particular. This week is also Teacher Appreciation Week, and I this morning actually reached out to my own orchestra teacher to thank him for everything he did for me. We're here also to celebrate the teachers who support our students in Massachusetts in learning music and art. My children enjoy music and art as well, and we know how important music and art are to our public education system. So we hope you all in Brockton are proud of your students too, and join us in supporting educators this week.
Trinity Catholic Academy in Brockton recently held President's Leadership and Career Day, where students interacted with business and community leaders. It was quite an event. As the only Catholic elementary and middle school in Brockton, Trinity Catholic Academy is an accredited co-educational institution located in the heart of the city. They provide a highly structured, safe environment combined with an excellent academic program emphasizing math and language arts for over 400 students in preschool through grade 8. The Academy was established in 2007 and continues to make strides in urban education through their 2 campuses. Trinity Catholic Academy has a rolling admissions process. Call 508-583-6237 or email tuition@tcabrockton.org for more information. To schedule a tour of Lower Campus, call 508-583-6231 or email cleonard@tcabrockton.org. For Upper Campus, call 508-583-6255 or email mfahey@tcabrockton.org. We are at the corner of Court Street and Montello. You are north and I am south. I'm going south. You're looking south. And it's a very busy intersection. Always look both ways before crossing the street. Wait for the red light. Wait for that walk sign, okay? Now, there's a fantastic program that happens not only at Brockton High School but the Brockton Middle Schools. It's called Empower Yourself. Led by Cedric Turner is a group of students that many of which have been in the program since middle school. Teaches life skills. It builds confidence, self-efficacy, and these kids recently were at Bridgewater State University. We covered the event. It was a Young Investors Contest. A few people that were in the competition moved on to compete at an international level in New York City. So Cedric, the students, met with Mayor Carpenter in the GAR room at City Hall, told them a little bit about what they were looking forward to, and the mayor talked about his relationship with Cedric. Check it out.
China, Taiwan, Pakistan, France, Spain, from Africa, from Ghana.
Pakistan, you said that,
And then there's going to be us, which is represented with New England. Then there's New York, New Jersey, Chicago, Atlanta, Los Angeles, Miami. So it's going to be with 25 of the top teams inside the country.
So I'm thinking when you get back, I'm having a little trouble balancing the city budget this year. You might be able to give me a hand with that. It's only $409 million real money we get to play with this one.
We decided to pick a stock that everybody uses on it, like a product that everybody uses on a daily basis, just like phones and computers. And we decided to, within all those products, is to process it. And Qualcomm is a company that produces semiconductors and processors.
Mr. Turner and I have been friends for a number of years. So I actually was serving on the school committee when he came to propose to us bringing the Empower Yourself program into, I think at the time it was just the middle school, I think originally, right?
It was middle school only.
Yep. And so myself and I think Mr. Minicello, who was also still on the school committee, you know, really supported this strongly and have fought hard to keep this program in there because, you know, not only do we believe in financial literacy education, but we can also see the results that as different kids come through the program, we can see that it's making a difference.
Thank you, sir.
All right, as we walk our way up, back up Court Street, we're going to hit the corner of Court Street in North Main. We're going back to the State House. The advocacy is not done. The students and the administrators from Brockton Public Schools are en masse, and they're taking over the State House because, you know what? They want what many of us here in Brockton already know. They want what's fair. You know, they want their fair share of money so that they can run great programs, continue to provide services, and pay those teachers that work so hard. So let's go back to the State House and see how things unfolded.
This is called the Great Hall of Flags. I won't explain why. I think it's kind of obvious. Now, there's 351 flags flying there. There's one for each city and town in the state. Now, there is a Brockton flag up somewhere. And it'll be like a search for you guys to see who finds it first.
Oh, that really not. It's not.
It is the third one from the end there.
How'd you find it? You looked up?
At Brockton High, I've started a club called the Model Brockton City Council, and basically it's a simulation of Brockton city politics, because I think it's important for all of us to discuss these local matters, because these are issues that we are facing as Brockton students every day, just citizens of the city. We're facing these problems, and I think it's important to be knowledgeable about these occurrences, and that's why I started that organization.
What are you expecting when you walk into that room and they start debating?
I think there's going to be a lot of turmoil in terms of, you know, this bill. I think a lot of people don't realize how negative, you know, it can be if we don't have something that changes within our school system. I think it's really important that we have people on our side, though. I think both sides will be debated, so we'll have to see.
I just want to see small steps to change, and how I know this change is going to affect me, whether in a few years or my peers that are coming up in the high school or just in the school system.
Time and time again, we win, we accomplish, we achieve what we put out in the city of Brockton in every aspect: academics, arts, sports. You know, we need to continue, and that's why we're here. We're here for all of you. We're here for all of us. We're here for our community because we love Brockton. I grew up in Brockton. I graduated from the Brockton Public Schools. My kids have graduated. My son Greg is graduating from the Brockton Public Schools this year. So we need to continue the great tradition we have in Brockton. We are a melting pot. That's what Brockton is. It's always been a melting pot. The only thing that's different today from the past is where everyone's coming from. That's all, but we're still a melting pot. It's where people get along, and it's a great place to be. And always, always, always be proud that you're from Brockton, because we have so many good things in this city, and we have such great people. In your life later on, when you meet people from Brockton, it's going to be like they're an old friend. This has been a fight that we've been fighting for several years. For 5 years, the budget has been really horrendous. You know, this year we're looking at a $9 million cut. Last year it was 16. The year before that, 10. The year before that, 8. The year before that, 7. These are not numbers that I enjoy. What I want to say is that, guess what? We're in the opposite position. You know, we have $5 million more to invest in your education. We have $4 million more to invest in smaller class sizes. We have X amount of dollars to bring in more adjustment counselors to help kids that have issues that need to be dealt with. And that's why we're here fighting. That's why we're here with supporting our Senator Brady and our representatives. So it's so good of you all to know what this fight is all about. We just want to be treated fairly. In Brockton, we have an incredible track record with our public school system. We have a high school that is basically has been a level 1 school, which is pretty unique, is pretty special. And you all know how effective it is for your educations in preparing you to move forward. And that's what we need to maintain, because our data shows that the longer students are in the Brockton Public Schools, and students, as you know, in our school system come from everywhere. So the longer they're in the Brockton Public Schools, by the time they graduate from the 12th grade, we, knock on wood, have prepared them to move on, to go to college, to go to pursue a profession. If college isn't where they want to go and they want to go into the trades, that's wonderful. But that's the goal. That's why we're here. The other day we were at the high school, the superintendent and myself, and what was so refreshing when we asked the students, and some of them are here today, you know, what's the best thing you enjoyed about the Brockton Public Schools? Because these were seniors. And guess what they said? They said the best thing in the Brockton Public Schools are the teachers. The teachers who do more than just teach. They care, they get involved with our lives. It's more than just going to class, listening to the information, and studying and taking a test. The teachers are committed to our well-being. We need to give our legislative delegation the support and the encouragement, and let them know that we're there with them, because we know they're fighting for us, and we need to help them fight. So,
Don't forget
thank
to tell them.
Oh, it's still going.
Yeah.
The result of their advocacy, the Senate has passed the bill, and now it moves on to the House of Representatives. Yep, we're back up to North Main Street and Court Street. So that means the show's over. It did fly by. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. Remember, the theme today was Brockton Kids Count. They do count. They're advocating for not only funding, but they're advocating for their city and the great teachers that provide so many services. So, we hope you enjoyed it. To learn more about Brockton Community Access, please visit our website at bcatv.org. You can also check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/The Brockton Channels, all one word. For executive producer Mark Lindy and producer Aaron Tebow, I'm Jay Miller, and we'll see you around town.